Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. If you're new to my channel, welcome, and I hope you press the subscribe button and click the bell to be notified every time I upload a new video. In today's video, I'm going to be making this three-sided vanity mirror. Let's go ahead and get started. I began by cutting 3 pieces of foam board to 19 by 19 inches. To one of my pieces of foam board, I measured 2 inches all the way around to make a frame. Once I made all my markings, I used a straight edge to make my lines. Once I finished drawing out my frame, I made diagonal lines at the corners. And then I just cut it out. Now I'm going to be using this mirror reflective paper to cover up my foam board cutouts. I remove the protective film and make a few trimmings on my mirror reflective paper to make it easier to fold down. After I covered all 4 of my pieces, I set that aside. For my mirror, I'm going to be using this 12 by 12 inch mirror that I bought at Walmart. I'm going to be gluing some of these Tumbling Tower game pieces that I bought at Dollar Tree to the back of my mirror about 1 inch away from the edge. I'm going to glue my mirror to a piece of foam board to which I measured 3.5 inches all the way around so I could center my mirror, and I'm just going to be hot gluing it in place. Now I'm going to hot glue my 2 foam board pieces together. I'm going to be using the silver paint to paint my foam board. Once I finished painting it, I let that dry. Then I used my X-Acto knife and carefully cut a hole through my foam board pieces so that I could string my lights through it. And you want to make the hole behind the mirror. For my lights, I'm going to be using these fairy lights that I got on Amazon, and they come with a remote and have different settings. Now I'm just going to string my lights through the hole and carefully pull them all the way through. Once I pulled them all the way through, I glue my battery box to the back of my foam board. Then I put my fairy lights around my mirror. At the end, I used a little bit of hot glue so that they could stay in place. Now I'm going to hot glue my frame to the rest of my mirror. Then I set that aside and began working on my side panels. For each side panel, I'm going to be using 3 19 by 10 foam board cutouts. To one of my foam board cutouts, I am going to once again be measuring 2 inches all the way around to make a frame. Once I drew out my frame, I made diagonal lines at the corners. And then I cut out my frame and covered it up in mirror reflective paper. Now I'm going to glue the other 2 pieces of foam board together. And I used the same silver paint to paint both of my panels. Once my paint had dried, I glued on my frame. Now I'm going to be using these mirror mosaic tiles that I cut into strips of 3 to cover up the edge of my panels. These mirror mosaic tiles have adhesive on their own, so I didn't use any extra glue for this. I didn't add any mirror mosaic tiles to the bottom of my panel since it won't be visible. I added the mirror mosaic tiles to all 3 of my panels. Now I'm going to be using this crushed glass that I bought at Michael's to decorate the inside of my panels, and I am going to be gluing it on with some clear silicone. Once I put a generous amount of silicone to my panel, I spread it out evenly with a popsicle stick. Once I evenly spread out the silicone, I sprinkled my crushed glass on top. I lightly pressed the crushed glass into the silicone and let that dry overnight, and I did the same thing to both of my side panels. For my center panel, I applied the silicone around my mirror. And once again, I used a popsicle stick to spread out the silicone. And then I sprinkled on my crushed glass, and when I was finished, I let that dry overnight. The next day, when my silicone had cured, I shook off the excess crushed glass. Now I'm going to be using these 2-inch hinges that I bought at Walmart to connect my panels. I measured 4 inches down on each panel so that I could evenly place my hinges. Then I screwed my hinges in place with the screws that were included in the pack. Since the foam board isn't very sturdy, I am also going to be hot gluing my hinges in place. And this is how my vanity mirror ended up looking. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. I hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Have a wonderful day.